Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Friday, March the 28th, 2024. Well, Sonny and Jason, they definitely arrived internationally where they were going by night, right? They were going to split up. Jason was going to go to the warehouse. Sonny was going to go to the guy's apartment. And Jason goes, "You sure you want to split up?" He goes, "We don't know when this guy's going to skip town. So, yeah, right?" And I'm thinking, well, that's a bad idea. Bad idea. So, Sonny, when the guy gets to his apartment where Sonny was, Sonny is sitting in his chair waiting for him with a gun pointed at the door, right? And he goes something like, "Remember me?" And the guy looks at him and says, "What are you doing here?" Because the guy had already come in and shut the door, right? And Sonny's like, "Yeah, I'm came here to make sure you pay for burning my son and putting him in wait, something like putting him in all this misery. You know, I came for you." So the guy is saying whatever, they're having a conversation, and Sonny is like, I want to know who you working for. Who hired you for this job? And he says, "Look, we don't meet face to face. The arrangements are made. I get the information." Sonny says, "How are you getting paid?" He said, through cryptocurrency, anonymous, just like I received the information, anonymous. And so Sonny says, "No, a job of this magnitude, meaning trying to take out a mob boss, right?" He says, "There's no way that someone like you would take on this kind of job without knowing who you working for." And so he says, "Well, times are hard. Normally that's that, this isn't my policy, but times is hard. I need the job. So yeah, I took it." Sonny's like, "No. Mm-mm." And so he says, "I want to know, give me a name." He says, "If I give you a name, you're gonna kill me." He said, "Maybe," you know. So the guy goes, "No." So now Sonny's still sitting. And the thing is, to me, but maybe that's because we know he's sick. To me, he was sitting in that chair like a weak man. To me, that he didn't even look strong, right? Now, one thing we know, or I know about heart patients, when they have heart episodes, they can't travel. The doctors won't let them fly. I think it's the whole altitude up and down. The heart, they don't want that kind of stress on the heart. I don't care if you're taking a jet, right? So anyway, the guy goes to open the door. And I'm thinking, okay, Sonny, you're not going to shoot him? Well, of course not, because when the guy opens the door, Jason's standing on the other side, pointing a gun at him. So he looks and he goes back into his apartment. So then we go back to the interrogation, and Sonny says, "Give me a name." And he's like, "If I do, I'm a dead man." Sonny told him, "If you don't, you're a dead man." He says, "At least by giving me the information, I'm going to let you live and you'll have a chance to disappear. But if you don't give me the information, it's lights out now," pretty much, right? So at the end, the guy says, "Okay, I'll give you the name." But of course, we don't hear the name today. I'm wondering if it's going to be Jack Brennan. Wondering. I just don't believe it's going to be Sidwell. But I don't know. I don't know. Who could it be? Sonny does have a lot of enemies, and maybe there's somebody we're not thinking about. We shall find out. We shall find out. So now we have oh, you know what? Let me get my pictures up because I got Sonny and Jason down there. right? Pointing the gun on the guy. Now let's go to Christina. And all I do is shake my head because this is an individual. She has the nerve to say Ava has never been held accountable for her actions. Neither has Christina. And Christina has been coddled, just coddled with her actions. I mean, now that enough time has gone by with the loss of Adela slash Irene, Alexis hasn't sat her down and really said, let's talk about your actions and your reactions to things. Let's have an honest talk, honey. Right? No. And all Sonny does is pacify or agree with everything. She just, oh, no, no, you're right. No. Ava killed my daughter. Instead of saying, honey, look, I know it's easier to blame her, but it was an accident. You tripped. See, nobody's just making her admit that because in her mind, she's rewriting history, right? She's rewriting it to make herself feel good. She doesn't want to feel the enormous guilt that she would feel if she honestly looked at the actions that led up to that accident. And the bad thing is, everybody, she has repeated those same actions twice now. Twice at Ava's new place. Mm. So anyway, Ava pretty much cuts her to pieces and jabs at her. And she goes, it's obvious Sonny's condition is serious. He's on medication. Well, Ava didn't see what the name of the drug was. She don't know what that medication was, right? And it's obvious that he doesn't want his enemies to know he's weak. And Christina's looking, she goes, so you know what? Now's a great time for me to take him back to court because no judge will give him partial custody of Avery after what happened to your brother Michael. Because, see, that was meant for Sonny. And Christina's like, but it should have been for you. Yeah, okay, Christina, right? And so Ava says, she goes, you just want to exploit and use Avery. You want to use Avery, exploit her to get back at my dad. And so Ava said, a mother would do anything for her child. And then she looks at Christina and says, oh, but then again, you wouldn't know that. She really pushed the envelope with that, right? And Christina said, what did you say? And they was like, you heard me. Oh, I was like, wow. Because Rick was hiding in the other room. Ava said, Rick, I want you to be my witness. Don't go anywhere. And in my mind, I'm thinking, where could he go? You don't have a back door to your apartment. Christina's at the front door. Do you mean don't let me open the door and then you say bye, Christina, and you leave? Rick would never pass up that opportunity. So he goes into her room and he's listening. And so there was a couple of things that Christina said about Ava that, you were going to let my dad die just like she goes, you would have been responsible for my dad's death, just like you were responsible for Morgan's death, and you are responsible for Adela's death. And she says, no, you tripped, and you tripped. And she said something, she goes, but let's talk about responsible. Michael, some kind of pun to Michael being burned. It was interesting. It was kind of mean, what she said, and she goes, you are making fun of my brother's pain and suffering, something like that. And Ava's like, no, I'm just pointing out the facts. And in my mind, I'm thinking, and the facts are, Christina, you can't stand up. You can't win against a woman like Ava. Ava has been bad for years. Christina, you just been stupid, right? Ridiculously not thinking, flighty, off the easily set. You could set her up like there's no tomorrow. And Ava does it to her every time. See, a match for Ava was definitely Carly. Ava couldn't get over on Carly like that. A match for Ava is Nina, but Nina, when she is completely like enraged, Nina loses her mental faculties too. Nina goes a little crazy. She does. Nina will flip out on you, right? Carly is flighty, yes, as far as anger goes, but Carly is vengeful. Carly will lay a trap. Carly, the old Carly, right? Carly was nobody to be messed with. And you wouldn't see, a lot of people didn't see Carly coming. Carly's always been a good match for Ava. So anyway, Christina leaves there and she's just all frazzled. Now, when Ava got home, she found Rick in her apartment and she said, Rick, uh, why are you in my parking space? And he said, because there's construction in front of your building. And I just washed, I mean, there's construction on the street by your building. And I just got my car washed. And she goes, you do realize by you parking in my spot that I then had to park on the street. Right? And he's like, whatever. So then he tells about, making peace with Alexis, blah, blah, blah. And that's when Christina starts banging on the door. But anyway, when Rick comes from behind the door, the wall from Ava's room, he told her, she goes, oh, you heard her threaten me because when Christina left, you know what she said? I'm going to make you pay. I'm going to stop you. So Ava says, you were my witness. She threatened me. And he says, Ava, he said, you're going to need to be careful because you're talking about taking Sonny to court. You're talking about exposing his weakness for, his enemies will find out. Sonny's not going to take too kindly to that. She goes, then all the more reason Sonny needs to give me what I want and give me a definite increase in child support. So it's on Sonny how far I have to take it. And Rick said, just to let you know, you might need to tread lightly because when Sonny feels he's backed against the wall, that's when he is more dangerous. So Rick gets a phone call, and it's Elizabeth. She's calling to say she's got the information for him. And she goes, I could drop it by your office. And Ava's like, oh, of course it's Elizabeth. She's making sure that the person on the phone could tell, come on, women, we know that trick, right? We know that trick. You say something. The person on the phone's like, oh, you with Sheila? Oh, you with Mary? Oh, are you with that chick, Bridget? Because they know the voice, right? So Elizabeth says, oh, so you're with Ava. And he goes, yes, I'm at her place. We were just doing some work. And Ava looks at him like, mm. So Elizabeth said, well, you know what? I will just bring it by her place. And Rick is like, and Elizabeth had already hung up. And I'm thinking, how did Elizabeth know where Ava lives? They don't travel in the same circle. How does she even know Ava's not at the Metro Court anymore? Hmm. But she just knew where Ava lives, right? So he gets off the phone and Ava says, oh, so we just working. This is just work between us. He said, Elizabeth has some information that could help me with Porsha's case. So Ava breaks it down to him. She says, wait a minute. How would she know to look for information? Did you violate patient attorney confidentiality? And he goes, no, I didn't. Elizabeth is just looking up something that, I didn't give her anything specific. She does not know what Porsha did. But it's better for Elizabeth to get this information than Porsha to be logging in, getting information. He goes, it does not violate, the information I requested does not violate any HIPAA laws. So she said, but Rick, why do you think Elizabeth's doing that? She said, because Elizabeth is Porsha's friend. She's trying to help her friend. And she's trying to help me help Porsha. She said, no, Elizabeth's snooping. See, and if she truly finds out because you led her in the right direction, her looking up information, do you think Elizabeth is not going to inform the hospital board? And Rick is like, no, Elizabeth would not do that. Elizabeth is doing this for me, and she's doing it for her friend Porsha, and they're yelling at each other, right? Well, Elizabeth's coming up to Ava's door, and you can hear Rick saying, that's not Elizabeth's intention. So Elizabeth just knocks on the door, and Rick opens it, and she goes, here you go. And she may have said something else to him, and he said, thank you, Elizabeth. And she's like, Ava. She's like, Elizabeth, right? So Elizabeth says, well, I will let you two get back to whatever this is. She says, I'm going to call for another ride share. And I'm thinking, wait, you took Uber slash Lyft slash whatever? You paid for a service to take you to Ava's to drop off some paperwork versus telling Rick, I'm on my way home, right? Drop off by my house in a half hour to get what I have for you. So Rick says, no, Elizabeth. And she's out the door. She turned and she walked out. No, I'll come. I'm gonna give you a lift. I'll give you a ride. And so Ava looks at him. He goes, okay. He goes, look, we'll pick this up later. She goes, can't she get her own ride? And he's like, I'm not gonna have her pay for another ride share. So he goes running out after Elizabeth. And Ava's yelling, well, you don't have to come back here later at all. Whatever, Ava, whatever. But now, mind you, when Christina left, she is a hot mess. She's, you could tell, just out of her mind, enraged. So she's down in the parking garage, looking like, and she looks over and she sees a car and she sees the space that says Jerome. Now, you probably don't notice it in this top left picture of Christina pointing her finger at Ava. I got a smaller picture of Christina in the parking lot. There was like a construction cart or a utility cart that had wires and everything else. And guess what? There's a tub with tools just conveniently left there to be stolen. But okay, she gets some wire cutters and she's looking at them. That's what that picture that's right in the center at the bottom shows her. Oh, okay. And she looks over at Ava's car. And I'm thinking, wow, Christina. Okay. So then it shows her the next scene where she's in, she's coming into Charlie's. And Lucky said, Christina, oh, you're cutting it close. We're about to open soon. Oh, oh, and she's like, and he goes, wait, what's wrong? I, I was at Ava's. We got into a fight. She said some horrible things, and she thought about what she had done. She says, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. And Lucky says, what mistake? What? No, I can fix it. I can fix this. Now she's tearing out, driving like a bat out of hell back to Ava's place. Okay. Lucky is like, wait, Christina. So I guess Lucky's gonna be in the car too, following behind Christina. Well, Rick and Elizabeth are talking, and Rick is kind of, Ava was in his ear about why do you think Elizabeth's doing that? So he's kind of said, Elizabeth's like, okay, so I hope this information helps you with Porsha's case. Is there any other information you want me to find? Is there any other, like avenue that I can help you with? And he looked over at her. He goes, Elizabeth, why are you doing this? And she's like, wait, what? I mean, what are your real motives? And oh, now she's saying, oh, wait, no, I do you a favor. And you're gonna question me like this, right? So now they're kind of arguing, but not him and Alexis kind of arguing. He's just like, wait a minute. And so she goes, why are you driving so fast? Slow down. He's like, I'm trying to. And it shows him trying to pump the brakes. He's like, but something is wrong with as he's getting ready to say the brakes. Elizabeth's looking up, and now you hear headlights shining in their faces. And they hit something. Well, obviously, he probably swerves. Those headlights are probably Christina's. See? Christina. Now, how is Alexis gonna say she was driving that car? How? Because she would if she could. So that Christina would not face consequences. Luck. I honestly think Rick is going to be hurt worse than Elizabeth. Elizabeth's going to be hurt, but not as bad as Rick. Now, will Lucky still work for Christina? I don't know. Because he's going to know she did it. Now, Rick, this is why I think Rick will be unconscious for a minute. Rick is going to instantly know it was Christina because he was in the apartment. She just did not know it. And she did not know she was cutting the brake line to his car. So this could be definite jail time, but it's going to end up with Diane. It would be psychiatric because Christina does. She needs Shady Brook. She needs Shady Brook really bad. Okay. So we'll see. We'll see how bad the accident is, how bad they're hurt. But they're going to know it's Christina's. And you know what was interesting to me, everybody? And I don't know about you out there, but I'm going to tell you about me. I'm not too good at fixing cars. I really am not. I'm better at fixing different things around the house, right? Well, if you gave me some wire cutters and told me cut the brake line to this car, I wouldn't be able to. I don't know. Where's the brake line? you know, I don't get up under cars. I don't know. But Christina, with her crazy behind, that probably barely knows how to put gas in her car, she knew how to cut a brake line. Go figure. So now that's them. Now let's get to the last part, which was interesting. Oh, this one part, and by before Lulu, before Christina got to the Charlies, Lulu was there talking to Lucky, and I fast forwarded the whole thing because once I heard her start saying, "You don't really want to take Elizabeth to New York. What if you ruin that great memory?" I mean, it was really stupid. And then when they came back to them, probably for the third time, I listened for half a second and she goes, but then again, who am I to be given relationship advice? And I'm like, thank you, because you're not, Lulu. She goes, if you want to go with Elizabeth, I think you should go ahead and go. Go ahead and just have fun. He didn't need your permission. He didn't need that because he already knew what he wanted to do. You were just jealous and trying to throw some shade in there because that's you, Lulu. Okay. Ugh. But now Drew, I fast forwarded his conversation with Kai, but what I did get out of it was he was just praising Kai, as if you care about Kai, Drew. Is he's telling Kai that he has access to the best specialists. Okay, maybe it's because you've had some rare medical stuff. Because you don't have access to the best specialists because of any of your lines of work. And just because you're a congressman, that doesn't give you access to the best specialists in the nation. He's just end all be all now. And then he tells Kai, and Kai says, well, look, that's great, Congressman Quartermaine. If you even found the specialist, my insurance would consider that an elective surgery, and they're not going to pay for it. And I don't have that kind of money. And so Drew says, you don't, but I do. I'll pay for your surgery. And Kai looked at him and said, wait, you'll do what? He goes, I'll pay for your surgery. So then he was really trying to get Kai up under his little wing. I fast forwarded the rest of that. Now let's get to the good stuff. Tracy went to GH to see if Stella was done with her appointment, her test, because she wanted to take her out to dinner. But Stella had already left. She was done. So she talked to Elizabeth for a minute, and then her phone rings. It's Yuri telling her, that they serve official papers, and there's bulldozers, in Yuri's accent, bulldozers at the clip. And, hurry. And Tracy goes, I'll be right there. Now, when the councilman got there with Marshall to serve the paperwork, and the demolition guy, Trina comes down. She goes, what is all this noise and commotion going on? I guess with them trying to get the bulldozer over there. Now, mind you, they had to have come by the guard gate, right? You mean the guard gate didn't call Tracy or somebody that we've got all this official crap here at the gate? Do we let them in? What? Yeah, see, that whole part just they had an open gate for everybody to get through. Okay. So, and the councilman tells her, and who are you? She goes, I live in the apartment above the garage and I'm trying to study, and this has interrupted my study. It's like, well, this don't have nothing to do with you. you know. Well, Geo and Emma show up. And he goes, oh, but it has something to do with us. What do you think you're doing? And he goes, what? I suppose you live in the main house? And he goes, yes, I do. Now, mind you, did you all notice, everybody? They're darkening Geo's hair. They're slowly darkening his hair. And to me, they gave him a little more serious makeup around the eyes, darkened his hair, right? Versus that happy-go-lucky boy next door. Oh, I'm gonna go eat some ice cream. Geo, right? They're changing him slowly. So he goes, no, wait. So then the guy says, well, I can serve you the papers. So the marshal gives the papers to Geo, or the actually maybe have even been the councilman who can't serve. And Geo said, no, because I'm just a guest in the house. I'm not responsible for anything. So they take the papers back from Geo, and they says, okay, so he tells the marshal, go up to the house. And he goes, Monica Quartermaine owns this property. Go up in the house and serve her. And they're like, well, you can't serve her. But they didn't, the marshal just left anyway. And he went up there. And then Trina starts live streaming, almost the same thing that Emma did. And Emma says, hey, look, I got an idea. Stop, stop as long as you can. So she takes off, and Trina is just live streaming about how can you say you serve your constituents in the public, and you're trying to remove a bulldoze human remains. And the construction guy said, wait a minute, what? And the councilman is like, don't worry about it. He goes, wait, wait. Oh, I'm not having no part of unearthing burial human remains, disturbing. I'm thinking, what do you think that was? Although maybe it doesn't say crypt on it, but you know. So he says, oh no, I'm out. He leaves. And the councilman says, you're a city employee and you do your job. And the guy's already still walking away, right? So he's looking at Trina saying, this will all do no good. And stop that recording. Give me that phone. She goes, I'm not going to give you my phone. Uh, we the public, I'm a constituent, all the constituents that are looking at this stream, we have a right to know what our publicly elected official is doing. And he's looking, you know. And so he goes, well, it doesn't matter because we have official paperwork and this thing is coming down tonight. And now you hear Emma saying, nope, no, it's not. And she's clicking the lock. She's chained herself to the door. And so he goes, what are you doing? Take those chains off right now. And she goes, no, I'm not going to do it. So you're going to bulldoze this down over my dead body. Oh my goodness, right? So now Tracy has an opportunity to get there. And she's like, what are you doing here? He goes, oh, no, no, no. We've already served the paperwork at the main house. We have orders to bulldoze this down tonight. Now, everybody, when does the city work at night? They never would work at night. It would be the next day. Come on now. And part of me blames Tracy. How long did she have to move that crypt over? It could have definitely been done without disturbing, without tearing it down and moving coffins, if that's what's in there. I mean, they wouldn't have had to have done none of that. She had enough money to have the whole structure moved. They would have dug up under it, put some braces up under that concrete foundation, and moved it. Oh my goodness. So anyway, Tracy gets there, and she goes right up there with Emma. She goes, you got any more of that chain? And Emma says, no, this is all I had in my car. So Tracy takes the chain from her purse and wraps it around Emma's wrist and her wrist. And Tracy says, I'm not moving and you're not disturbing. And Trina's still filming. You are not going to disturb the final resting place of my mother, my father, my family is in there. And she says, all because of Congressman Drew Kane has a vendetta against a family that's disowned him. Right. So they were really playing up to the media, right? So Anna finally gets there. She goes, oh, thank God. Anna, arrest these people for trespassing. And she goes, Emma? What are you doing up there? Oh, hi, Grandma. And she goes, are you hurt, Emma? Oh, no, that was almost Holly's accent. That was wrong. I can't get Anna's accent. I can't get it, right? So Emma says, no. She goes, okay, good. And Tracy says, and I'm not hurt either. And Anna just turns, she goes, give me the paperwork. And she looks it over and she goes, where are the bolt cutters? And Tracy says, wait, what? And Emma says, Grandma, no. You know, look, Anna may take the boat because she goes, Emma, unlock that. Where's the key? She goes, I swallowed it. You know, she just swallowed that key. Why would you really swallow a key? Put that doggone thing in your bra, put it in your pocket. They're not gonna search her. She could have had that key in her shoe. But if it's one thing she didn't do is swallow it. So anyway, right? So they're leaving us hanging as to Anna is gonna have them removed so that the crypt can be bulldozed. But we know Anna. Anna doesn't do what a police commissioner should do. Anna does what she wants to do. Anna might cut the bolts to the chain, but then stand there with her granddaughter and Tracy and say, you're not doing it. Okay. Not tonight. And so actually Trina said, isn't there a law? It was either Trina or it was Gio, but I think it was Trina. Isn't there a law for disturbing a burial site? Don't you have to move human remains carefully? And I think that's when the demolition guy said, human remains. Oh no, I ain't touching that. Oh no. And he's out there. So anyway, that was pretty good and that was cute. I mean, we shall see where that's gonna go. We definitely shall see. I was hoping they were gonna have Monica save the day. When Tracy came to the hospital, Elizabeth said, Tracy, how's Monica? Which was something out the blue. See? And Tracy said, Monica's fine. Today was a good day for her. So then somehow they got to about what Drew was doing, and she goes, does Monica know? And Tracy says, no, Monica does not know. See, there we go. Monica does not know because Monica is upset enough right now. She's upset at Michael's condition. She's upset with what Drew did. She goes, I'm handling this because I don't want to add something else on Monica's plate, right? So that's what she said about that. But anyway, that is it. Let me see. I think I had everything. Yes, I did. I covered absolutely everything. Let's see how badly Elizabeth or Rick gets hurt. And let's have Christina arrested. I really, everybody, she needs to be. She needs to be arrested. She needs to be arraigned and remanded to Shady Brook. So anyway, that's it. Now, Comment Corner, y'all did a great job on Comment Corner. Almost 100 comments. But I am going out of town, everybody, and don't have an ounce of things packed one bit. So I'll be back Monday doing my daily recap of General Hospital and getting into some Comment Corner. Have a great rest of your weekend.